I'm Ryan Milliken from Hardway Performance, and you're listening to the Diesel Podcast.
I'm Dimitri Miller with No Zone Diesel.
This is Anthony Rings from XDP.
This is Jaron Holder from Holderdown Performance.
Corey Willis from PPEI.
I'm Drew with D&J Precision Machine.
I'm Pinky.
And you're listening to the Diesel Podcast.
Diesel Podcast.
You're listening to the Diesel Podcast.
The Diesel Podcast.
The one and only Diesel Podcast.
What is going on, Diesel Nation? We're glad you guys could join us today for another episode of the Diesel Podcast. I want to thank you guys for the overwhelming support we've been getting on iTunes with ratings and comments on social media with who you guys want to hear from, topics you want to hear about, and even follow-up questions for guests we've had on. So keep doing that, Diesel Nation. Now, before we get to the talk about how this Duramax went from slow to fast, we want to welcome two new sponsors to the podcast, Diesel World Magazine and Amsoil. We have been huge fans of Diesel World forever. They've got tons of great write-ups, pictures, event coverage. Make sure you pick up an issue or subscribe for the whole year. They got tons of different options. And also, Amsoil, they're first in synthetics for a reason. These guys have everything for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke, whether it's the engine, transmission, differentials, tons of different things. Make sure you guys check them out. Tyler, I'm excited to have you on the podcast today, man. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. I'm glad to be here.
Been following you guys and your crew and the truck for quite a while, and we wanted to talk to you about the truck and basically just go through how it all started, and so our listeners can hear kind of how they can do the same thing, you know. So, like, to start at the beginning, tell us about the truck and the guys that are working on it.
Well, we'll just start off by getting out of the way. It's not personally my pickup. It's my best friend Justin Rosentreader's. He's kind of bad at talking in public, but we might get him later on. But it's a 2005 LOY. Me and him have been best friends since probably 14, 15 years old. And I remember the day he bought the truck. We brought it home, and it was cool. It was a diesel, you know. Nobody really had the diesels in, and it all started with a bully dog, to be honest.
It's usually how it starts, huh? It's always a programmer.
Oh, man, it was an old school bully dog. Threw it on there, and we saw a little bit of black smoke come out of it, and oh man, high schoolers with a little bit of black smoke, and it was game time.
And with the truck itself, I saw it a few years back at Bandimere, but it had gone through the complete transformation, say from the programmer to when I first saw it in person.
When you first saw it, sorry to interrupt you. When you first saw it, we had just got done the night before you saw it. We had it torn apart at 4 o'clock that morning still, and had it on the trailer at 5 o'clock the morning, and made it to the race the next day. That was the night before you actually got to see it all done. As soon as we had that night we put the dual fueler on it, Mishimoto intercooler, new pipes, exhaust manifolds, up pipes, everything we could to kind of help with EGTs and make our way to Colorado.
What was the truck running as far as, I know in Colorado the times are a little different, but you guys are in Oklahoma. What kind of times were you seeing back then with the truck?
Oh, man. Well, when we very first put it on the drag strip, it was, we had seen a 13.3, I think, was the best time we could get out of it. That was with our old tuner. I guess we should just go through the setup of the truck, but that was with the old tuner, and it had the Aurora 5000 in it, and it had an ATS Stage 6 transmission in it. It still has the ATS and the Aurora 5000, but we were only pulling out 13.3s, and we've made it quite a way since then.
What's it running now?
The best we've seen out of it, actually, before the engine build, it was still a stock bottom end at this point, and we had hit an 11.25 at 123 miles an hour on a stock bottom end.
Nice. So we went a long ways from low mid 13s down to low 11s.
Yeah. Actually, we went from 13s to right at 12 just by switching tuners.
Wow.
Yep, our old tuner didn't want to give it the power. Was scared it was going to fall apart, and we got with UDT Blake Crenshaw with Unleashed Duramax tuning, and he gave us the sauce, and we told him don't be scared, and he wasn't. He had tuned plenty that held together at what he was giving us, and it shaved a whole second right there.
Tell me about the engine build.
Okay, well, when we ran the 11.25 pass, he came back around, and I just knew I was like, man, it's going to be time. And sure enough, the upper radiator hose was nice and stiff, and we knew that for a little bit, and we decided, well, let's go ahead and rip it out. We met some pretty good friends out of New Mexico with Voodoo Speed and Machine, Dylan Lucy and Andy Hensley. They're two really good guys. They own their own shop up there, machine shop, and they're out of Farmington, New Mexico. And we had seen kind of what they had going on, and, well, they talked us into ripping it out and sending it to them. Well, we ended up just bringing the truck up to them, helping them pull the engine, and Andy went and did all the machine work on it, and we're running Crowler rods, ball pistons, port and polished heads, Hamilton springs. I mean, the list goes on and on. We did the fluid damper, we keyed the crank, keyed the cam. We are now running S&S 150% overs. Still just 2 stock CP3s. Still have the Aurora 5000 on it. Still has the ATS Stage 6 behind it. And, I mean, that's about it. Just a basic, LOY engine build.
Okay, how many passes has that Stage 6 seen?
Oh, man. I'd venture to say 200 plus.
Wow.
We've taken that Stage 6 and just beat the hell out of it.
It sounds like it's seen some, a lot of track duty, probably hot lapping it, and a lot of different things. And...
Yes, sir. We run the sportsman class and the NHRDA events for kind of fun. We're not really super competitive in it. Not because we can't be, just because it's kind of for the lower people. We're super competitive in the super diesel class, but it's hot lapping. Sportsman and super diesel are back to back, so you're coming right back around and jumping right back in line.
Now, like with the training itself, did you guys have the converter? Is it like an off-the-shelf 5-star, or did you guys have it stalled for the 5000 because you knew you were going to be drag racing and stuff like that?
It's stalled right now. When we very first put it in, hell, we were still, kind of rookies. Basically, Justin called and ordered the Stage 6, and he said he wanted everything billet. It can be billet, make it billet. And he had ordered it with the 5-star viscous torque converter, and we didn't even know what stall it came with it. We ended up pulling that one out and swapping ATS for I think we're at a 2400 stall right now.
Okay. Like it's at 5000 going pretty good.
Yeah, that 5000, it's lighting up pretty well. I can't say at Bandimere it sure killed us at Bandimere, but that's Bandimere. It's up there.
98 degrees and on the side of a mountain. It's a tough track.
Oh, yeah. I think the adjusted elevation was over 9,000 or something crazy like that the other day.
Wow.
And that's another thing. I mean, man, being in the racing crowd and all of us being around, when people ask us what transmission's behind that thing, well, we tell them an ATS Stage 6, and the god-awful faces we see when we say that sometimes, it's outrageous, and a lot of people are, purple bomb this, and I won't understand it. I mean, that ATS has done nothing but good for us. Like I said, we've beat the hell out of it. I hope the ATS guys don't hear this, but when we very first put that transmission in that truck, we made it 1 mile down the road before we started doing donuts. And that truck had sat for about a year. Needing a transmission because, we both know they're not cheap. It had sat about a year, and yeah, we put that transmission in, made it about a mile down the road, and just abused it. And it's held up the same ever since. No problems out of it.
Probably with a lot of the tracks you guys go to and NHRDA events and everything, is you get to see a lot of different products out there that that people are running, and 200 track passes is a lot. I've never put that many through any trucks I've had. I think maybe 70 or 80, but it's performed well for you guys, and I know you've seen the truck in person and run. It's not babied. It's not a daily driver truck that's not seeing wide open throttle runs all the time. So it's getting used.
Oh yeah, she's abused. I mean, we've been racing it now for 3 years. And, when we're not doing an event, we're at the local drag strip. I mean, hell, you open the door to the pickup and time slips fall out on the ground. It is. I mean, it's ran hard, and it's loving every minute of it now.
The really cool part of watching you guys, and it was awesome to meet you and Justin and a bunch of other guys, is that's what Diesel's about, and that's what a lot of the feedback we get from our listeners is they want to hear from guys that are, have a truck, they're putting it together with their friends, they get to enjoy it together. And that's what makes it so cool is, remember you guys rolled up and you had a trailer and the truck and everything else, and there's just a bunch of people. And everyone's supportive and has worked on it. And I remember you telling me about changing stuff on it, and Justin's talking about racing it and everything like that. And it takes me back to the beginning of when I got into diesel stuff, going to Bandamere, like 2008 or 9, is being so excited just to watch trucks run, see how fast they could go.
Oh yeah. That's where we have the best time. Me and Justin, being best friends, it's a good time to be able to put something together that not only you can go have fun with, but you can show off. And, the road trips are always fun. It's always a good time. It's pretty neat, and then you get to meeting people. Hell, we've made friends with tons and tons of racers, and it's just like a family now. You show up. What are we? They're about spaced out about a month. I think this one's only 2 weeks, but it's nice, and everybody feels welcome when you get there. It's a good time.
What's the farthest away you've gone for an event with the truck? From
I would probably say we're going from Oklahoma City to Billings, Montana. That was probably the furthest last year. But we go anywhere from Oklahoma City to Billings, from Oklahoma City to Phoenix, Arizona. 2 weeks from now, we'll be going to Clay City, Kentucky, for the Thoroughbred Showdown. It's an NHRDA event still, but that's about a 18-hour drive, I believe.
That'll be fun. What's your favorite track? Or which one do you guys like the most?
We love Bandamere. It's beautiful. It's good pits. Everything is great about that track. It's so high up there that we literally will lose a second at Bandamere off of our time. Now, I know we could compensate that with a little spray, but we just haven't got there yet.
Maybe that's in the works next.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it will be. That engine build was sure a kick in the wallet for Justin, but it's next.
Do you think you guys might go to a compound setup or maybe triples?
We're talking about compounds. Not really too sure what we want to go with compound-wise. Justin actually used that truck the way it sits, except for, well, I say the way it sits. He used that truck with 30% over injectors and the ATS 5000. He used that truck for, it was a pulling truck. He would use it to haul a 26,000-pound dump trailer all over Oklahoma and do all kinds of pulling with it. Anyways, and he loved the drivability of it. Never had a problem with it. So he's wanting to, in the future, make it to where it's a daily driver again, you know, but it can still go lay down a 10.9, yeah, if he wants it to. But so we're kind of having a problem debating on if we're going to go with a smaller Valley Charger or if we're going to leave that 5,000 there and put some over the top of it. And that's kind of our biggest debate right now is what we're going to do. I would personally like him just to leave the Aurora 5K back there and put something big over the top of it and just keep drag racing it. But when it comes to drivability, I don't know what we're going to be getting into there yet.
That's the fun part is having the daily driver where you can hook to something and pull it, but then you can go to the track and run 1090s with it.
Oh yeah, that's his goal. He's super excited to be able to put his hitch back in the back. That's for sure. I'm the guy that keeps telling him, you know, hey, we're racing this season. Keep it out. Now I'll catch him every now and then trying to put the back seats back in it.
It's definitely a quick truck. Yeah, what you guys did, last weekend was really impressive.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not gonna lie about it. We've been going to these events and man, we just couldn't pull a win out. We could not get a win. We made runner up a couple times. Made it pretty far and we could never get a win. So winning at Bandimere and fighting the altitude and fighting a really, really stacked Super Diesel lineup, Bandimere never disappoints. There's always tons and tons of trucks there. It was a big deal for us. It was super exciting. It lit a fire under Justin's ass. He is way more excited now than I've ever seen him. So it's nice seeing hard work pay off. It really is. I mean, it just makes you smile at the end of the day,
Yeah. What's so cool about it is, you guys are building it, having fun. There's a lot of racers out there, that do that where they don't work for a diesel company, or it's not, part of the marketing budget is to have this truck. Like you guys have regular day jobs and you're doing this in the evenings and on weekends and, particularly using vacation days to haul it to Kentucky or Billings or Phoenix or whatever it might be. And that's what I think the diesel enthusiasts, that's what they're drawn to, is that because you can do it. You don't have to have a fiberglass body or a full race truck with, 100,000 plus into it. It's attainable for everyone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm in the process of a build right now. We won't get too far into it, but hopefully I'll be up there with the big guys, but it really is. I mean, it is, we don't work on it every day. It's not something you have to work on every day. You can add a lot of power on the weekends. You don't have to fiddle with it all day, every day, and it is something, it's something cool to be able to, just take off a Friday and go race the truck. It's a good time.
You guys have social media for the truck. What's your guys' Facebook and Instagram page?
Man, I kind of control all that right now. The Instagram's not really a big thing yet. I'm going to try to start getting back into it. But if you go to Facebook, it's just, if you'll search Team Coltrane, it's just Team, and then Coltrane is COALTRAIN, all one word. Yeah, you can find us on Facebook.
I know you guys have a lot of great pictures. I saw some, I think it was Saturday. And you sent me some pictures there with the trophy and everything. So it's a beautiful truck. I think it was painted a couple years ago when I saw it, and the bodywork was amazing on it. The paint was perfect. The clear was perfect. It's a gorgeous truck.
Yeah, and actually that paint job was about probably a $2,000 paint job from the neighbor next door in his little tin garage. But yeah, it looks really good. He's done a hell of a job with it, man. It's got the nice welded in roll pan on the back, and it's a slick truck. We appreciate you saying it looks good.
Yeah, man. Well, I look forward to seeing what you guys do in Kentucky in a few weeks and staying updated on it. And I've always enjoyed seeing what you guys do next with the truck. So I'll be keeping my eye on it, see See if a big compound set goes on there, or what you guys do with the airflow situation.
Yeah. You'll be a part of the compound setup. We'll get that taken care of and figure out what we're going to do with that.
Awesome, Tyler. Well, I appreciate your time today talking to us about the truck, and we'll get Justin on and chat with him a bit more, and see if he's ready for nitrous or what he wants to do next with it.
Oh man, yeah. Well, I appreciate talking to you, Patrick.
Don't forget, Diesel fans, make sure and keep rating us on iTunes, commenting on social media with who you want to hear from, topics you want to know more about. We do follow them. We do use those to bring you guys the content that you want. Until next time, keep the shiny side up.